Contending with wind advisories. We showed you the flood watches at the top of the hour. And with both of these things in mind, power outages, airport delays are going to be possible. In New Hampshire and Maine, we've got that deeper snowpack. So that's in place. And that's leading to a combination of, well, snowmelt and heavy rain to some flooding. And that's the trend that we've been seeing. So overall, as we're taking a look right now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we're looking at some of that rain that we experienced overnight, the past 24 hours. And while earlier in the month of April, Pittsburgh was the focus of some very heavy rain, we eclipsed that yesterday with a new rain record of more than 2 3/4 of an inch in a single day. Pittsburgh going under, I think as we're tallying them up, Marissa, this was the 6th flash flood emergency that we've seen just since Wednesday.
It's been wild. That's been the very widespread threat. And if you look under all of those storm reports, that's Pittsburgh right there. And this also unfolding last night in through those overnight hours. And the common thing you're seeing with all these flood reports are those water rescues. People that were stuck in their cars, they were caught in the very swift-moving, deep water, and those water rescues were being performed in those dark hours of the night. So
they were under this flash flood emergency. I mean, overnight, it just expired a handful of hours ago. The Ohio River has its beginnings in Pittsburgh, and back on the 4th and 5th of April, the Ohio River began to swell, and that led to some flooding concerns. Flood warnings were issued in the city of Pittsburgh. Then we've had some dry time. I mean, it's relative. There have been other systems that have moved through, but then we get this in Pittsburgh, and it's been a mess.
Yeah, they've been through it, right?
Yeah.
And you look at all the totals, though, across from the Great Lakes into the Northeast. It's been a very soggy, overachieving situation. This is a look at, especially along the I-95 corridor, more than 8.5 inches above that average for New York City. Look at Providence, Rhode Island, over a foot above. But even back towards Pittsburgh, 7.5 inches above what you typically would see. So when you talk about the flash flood emergencies for Pittsburgh alone, fifth from the National Weather Service office out of that region. It's been a very intense kind of weather, right? I think we typically don't look towards the flooding in some of these spots. When you think severe weather, I'll be ready for it, but flooding can still, I think, take people a little off guard. Yeah,
the rain, too, that we're dealing with, it'd be nice if there was just a front that we had, and this front would move through and things would improve. Yeah. But yesterday, the day before, there were showers in the area, and in the Northeast and New England, we're going to continue with that threat. I mean, it continues today. I don't think we see this stuff wrap up until Saturday, but the rain is still moving through. We had shown at the top of the hour in New Hampshire that flash flood warning that we have right now. But you see that spin that's in the Northeast. That's going to create still some unsettled weather across much of the Northeast and New England through at least maybe Saturday morning.
It's going to be, I mean, this little dry area here. Make no mistake, New York is stuck under some very heavy fog right now. It's just a very messy, icky sort of situation that we're going to be getting through on Friday, and as you mentioned, in towards Saturday and whatnot. And I want to look at that heavy rain right there pushing in towards Boston
right now,
over Rhode Island, which we showed you is over a foot above. So we'll get those updated totals, but that's some heavy rain, maybe even a rumble of thunder that's going to be associated with all of that. Even as you push even further north, you were talking about the flood situation in New Hampshire. Especially get into those higher elevations, you have some snow melt contributing to that. Yeah, and that's what's led to this, at least flash flood warning that goes until about 1 p.m.
I guess getting back to Pittsburgh, though, because that's where the story's been emerging from this morning. We have some video from Pittsburgh.
Isn't this wild? I saw this. So this is out of Bridgeville. It's a suburb of Pittsburgh. The very fast water going right under that overpass. I guess it's an underpass, depending on how you put it. But the water going under, and this can become an absolute death trap in scenarios of flooding because the water forces its way into there, and you can become trapped very quickly as the water rises very quickly.
It's one of those, and the third wettest that Pittsburgh is already experiencing, the third wettest April on record. If records were to end, it would already be the third wettest. That's remarkable, especially considering that we're sitting here on April the 12th.
But a month ago.
Yeah, and it mainly is because of these two rain events. It's not that these showers have been spread throughout the month. It's from the 4th of April and it's from the 11th of April, which trickled into the overnight hours of this morning. So something that we're watching carefully. A month's worth of rain for some cities in the Northeast, and we aren't even halfway through April yet.